Hello, what's up, and welcome to your 22nd tutorial on how to create an FPS game. Now, you might notice a few changes on my desktop. First of all, the icon that says Filter Forge 3 on it, and the folder with textures. Well, let me just give you a hint. That's what we're going to be dealing with today. I'm going to show you how to make textures and get textures online if you don't want to make them. And, really HD textures, and I'm going to teach you about bump maps and everything. So first thing you'll need for this tutorial is Filter Forge. Excuse me. Let me just close that. What you do is you go Filter Forge 3 in Google, and you just click on the first one. And yeah, sucky internet. We talked about that. All right, and then you simply download it for your operating system, if it's available for your operating system. Now once you've downloaded it, I've already downloaded and installed it. Once you did, you don't even need to fire it up. You go to filters, and filters in this program are textures. I don't know, they just decided to call it Filter Forge, and they have an infinite library with every texture you'll ever need that people created, and you can also create too with this program. But I don't really know how to use this program or how to create stuff in this program, because personally I suck at art. Some kind of a little something on programming, not the best, but with art I suck. So I just get all my stuff online, except for modeling. I know a bit of that. So what you want to do is type in the type of the texture you want. So say you want like brick walls, so you type bricks. By the way, if you don't know what a texture is, it's basically an image, a 2D image, like dressed on a 3D object. So it's like you're drawing bricks on your cube, and so that cube will then look like cube of bricks. Or say you're drawing something different. You'll get the hang of it once we download. So once you find your texture, say I want chip bricks by Genie, you say open this with Filter Forge. You do not save image as, because it will come with shit quality, and you do not want that. And I'll talk about the bump map and normal map in a second. What you do is you open this in Filter Forge, and I'm not gonna do that. But once you have it opened in Filter Forge, because it takes for me a while. Yeah, I downloaded the free trial. By the way, if you really like this program and find it very useful, you should buy it and not torrent it. Yeah, because we do not support torrenting. Yay! Alright, so don't tell anybody you got that from me. Alright, so say I want this texture. All I do, simply do save as, and whatever I call it. Now what we also want to do in this what we also want to get is a normal map. So to do that, I'll explain what a normal map is in a few seconds. Just go to filter, render maps, normal, and then it will render a normal map of the current texture. Now I'll explain everything in a minute. So first of all, get all your textures ready. For each texture, you want a regular called diffuse, and you want a normal map for it. So yeah, you see I got logs, and then I got the normal map for it. And you can name it whatever you want. I just name it _n for normal maps. Right, so now what you do is you open Unity. Now I'm gonna do this for like part of my scene, but not for all of it, because it's just a waste of time. You don't want to see me do all that. So alright, now we got our scene. Now before we implement our new AI, by the way, we should delete all these. We don't need them right now. We just want our scene. So now you'll see it's very dull, and you can basically see like the corner here, and it's very difficult. It's very ugly. We don't want that. So first of all, I want to do is model texture the walls. So first of all, we need to import, meaning getting our textures into the program. We simply do drag and drop, and there you go, it's importing. I don't know why, but it imports images. It's most difficult for Unity to import images. I don't know why it's like that. but it's always like that. So yeah, now once you got your textures, you also see there's materials that come with it. It automatically makes a material for each texture you import. Now that is good. Why? Because also I'm just gonna create a material to show how it's done. You create a new material. You call it whatever you want, like I don't know, mat, short for material. Now you have two options to do this by. First of all, you drag it onto the thing you want, and then you have here the parameter of texture. What you want to do is you want to go in your textures. So I want bricks. There we go. We get bricks on that. But before I touch, making it look actually like real bricks, I want to show you the shader. Now what the shader is basically a script for graphical rendering in maneuvers. It's a bit complicated, and I don't know how to program shaders. You can learn online more about shaders, but what I'm going to use is the default shaders come with Unity, and it's called bump diffuse. And if you want to shine to your textures, you'll do bump specular. That'll make them shine, but yeah, you can see the preview right here. But no, we just want bump diffuse. Now you see, it's not very pop out. It's pretty flat on there, so we want to make it a little pop out. So what we do is we take the normal map, and what the normal map is, well, let me explain it to you. It's like a bump map. What it does is it tells the computer or your GPU where to indent the textures to like make it pop out or pop in. That's what it's called, like a bump map, because it shows it where to bump. And a normal map is another type of map that's very similar. Let's just go to our material and just put this on the normal map and click fix now if it asks you to. There we go. Now it should look a little more pop out. I don't know if you can see it in the video recorder, but in the screen recorder, but I see the textures like kind of popping out like they're actual bricks. Now you notice it looks very unrealistic. It looks like stretched all over. Now one thing for this, by the way, I don't want this mat. Yeah, I want to put bricks on it. Yeah, things with no textures on Unity just come empty. Why did not automatically set that for me? Right, anyway, once you've got it, you want to play with the tiling. And now what tiling is how much times to draw the texture. Now you can also make like a bigger texture. So you have like an image with a ton of bricks instead, like with I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever many bricks. Make an image with more bricks. You filter forge, but instead of working hard with the art, you can simply increase the tiling 10 by 10. Now let's play this, and you see it tiles it a lot more. It draws it much more times over. And with Google Textures, it will look like you're drawing a bunch of images on it, but with Filter Forge, it makes the textures look blended, so it will look like a constant bricks. Now this is not so good. By the way, oh, what the hell? Oh. Alright, so once you get the tiling for that, also make sure the tiling for the normal map is matching to it. And you notice it's kind of stretched, the bricks are kind of stretched, and so what we do, we simply play with the X tiling until we get the right kind. Also with the Y, you could do it however you want. I think I'll make this like 14 and this 7. Nah, it doesn't really look good. Maybe 5 and 14. Nah, it looks not bad, but it's still not what I'm looking for. You know what? I'll just leave it at 10 and 5. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Maybe 10 and 7. Right, and I'll make sure the normal map tiling is accordingly to the regular tiling. And there we go. On my computer screen, it's pop out. I don't know how it's on yours, but yeah, that's how you make good textures. So first of all, I wanna get tiling. I wanna get bricks on all the walls inside this building. All right. So I can simply drag and drop the material just like you saw me do. But you'll notice that it looks very different on a smaller object because it tiles it a lot more. See the difference? Now, solution for this is making a new material with less tiling, but I'm not going to waste time on that because I'll let you do that on your own if you want to. And it's also going to be a problem here because that doesn't look like, you know, continuous bricks. Looks like all of a sudden small bricks. Like, what the fuck? So I'm just going to delete that. And once you've completed your scene, you can do these changes. Completed the base layout of your scene. Just gonna make it like that. Then scale it over the entire area. I'm also gonna do so for these because I don't want the textures to like be looking different like you saw. So yeah, this should be good. I know I'm kind of playing with it right now. Oh yeah, I also want to delete that. I want to make this one wall. So I think it's better. It's best if I look at it from here. No, maybe from here. Yeah, that's perfect. Right. You should use this kind of viewport adjustment. It could really help the precision of your scene. Or you could always use numbers, as I say. It's most precise. So yeah, now all I do is attach the bricks. And bam, we got HD walls. Great. Now what you also want to do is take care of the floor, and we do this exactly the same, but we also have like different objects here, so I'm just gonna fix that real quick. Alright, that was a bit too much. Make sure you want as less as short as possible, because otherwise you'll need more tiling, and then you have to create more materials, and that just causes problems. So let me just make my concrete real fast. Concrete normal, fix now, bam. Got our concrete, put it on there, and yeah, that should be good tiling. I think I still have the materials left over from the previous one that I did. So alright, now let's look at that. Very good. We have like pop out realistic concrete, and we also need to take care of the sparks. Should get a material for those particles, but that we'll maybe do in another tutorial. And now the last thing I want to take care of here, oh yeah, I have another floor here. Just forget to do this shit. There we go. Alright. Last thing we want to take care of here is the ceilings, which you can't see now is the plane. So what we'll need to do is first flip them back, both ceilings, right? And now we want to style them to take over the entire space, before we flip them back towards the player. Or you can always replace this with a box if it's easier for you, but I just like to see a level from above, bird's eye view. And now there's a problem with planes going over each other, because if they go over each other, then textures would look kind of like flashy, and you'll see this once I look at the ceiling. And if they go under each other, then you'll see one of them disappear. So it's a problem. So you have to be very precise here. But this is not like my final product. I'm probably gonna stylize it a bit after the tutorial, so it won't take up too much of your time. Right now, after we've done that, we want to create our logs. And what I want to do is have like wooden, like brick walls, and wooden ceiling, and concrete floor. I think that's the most realistic. So you should choose your theme, and it's not really a theme. It's just how I like to style them. I don't know, it's just a test scene. It doesn't have to be the most beautiful. It's your first. So yeah, just put that on. Fix now. Whoa, that is pretty good. And there you see, right here, focus. When I move the camera, it does that. So you just want to make sure you got it just right. Right, now once you've done that, you want to flip them back -180. What the hell? Do you refuse my orders? There we go. Now we're getting cooperation. Alright. Bam. We got like realistic log, a ceiling. We got floor, walls, everything. Now all that's missing is like little crates and little objects that you can shoot and fly around. I always like to have that in the scene. So we're gonna make that. And first of all, I think we want to make like crates. So what we'll do is go in our filters library, wait for it to load, and type here crate. I think that's how you type crate. I am not sure one bit. You know what? Let's let Google fix my spelling. Not create. Create. Whoa, yeah, I know, big problem, my spelling. Crate. There, I remember. Right. Sorry for that. Crate. Yeah. There we go. I think this first one will be quite nice. You can also download it in these variations. But I'm just gonna open this in Filter Forge, and let me pause the video and resume it once I've got the texture. Alright, the package has arrived, and not too long. So yeah, I just wanna grab one crate. I think this one will do. Do save image as. I'm gonna call it crate. I know you're probably face palming yourself right now for my spelling, but never mind that. Right. Now why does that not let me make render bump maps for it? Filter. Right, this is like very freaking weird. I'm just not gonna do it with a bump map because I don't know, Filter Forge doesn't want me to, I guess. Can't argue with Filter Forge. Right, so let's import that into a texture folder, keep everything very nice and organized. And what we're gonna do is simply make a box, right? So a cube, excuse me. Cube. There we go. Make it a bit higher. Focus on it. All we do is simply take the crate texture, put it on, and bam. It puts it on every side. You know, just the way we like it. And don't play with the tiling on this, otherwise you'll get this kind of cube. So yeah. Should also give you a main idea of tiling. And now, one more thing you want to do to that is component physics rigid body. Now what a rigid body component is, it's not enable disable, but what it does, it gives it physics like attributes. So the cube will fall, it will have gravity, it will have everything. Now you're probably asking yourself, why don't we use this for the enemy and the player? We'll put it above the ceiling. Why don't we use this for the enemy and the player script and everything? Well, the answer is the rigid body does not have character. It has like object-like attributes. See, the crate just fell. And we want is like a character, and the character, you know, it pushes itself, so it's not really like a rigid body. It sometimes have to ignore the laws of physics for, you know, for the game to feel more comfortable. So yeah, and by the way, you see when we shoot at it, it's not very moving. It's pretty goddamn static. So the way to fix that is we go into our script player, and we're shooting at it currently, and we're just sending a raycast, and that's not very useful. So we need to tell it to push it, and there's a function for the rigid body called add force. We used it for the grenade, if you remember. So I'm just gonna type this out real quick. But one more thing I need to. Right, this tutorial is gonna be a little long, so I'm just gonna cut it short and just type it out. Right, so what we want to do is check for the rigid body we hit. So hit dot rigid body not transform. Make sure, very important. No, simply do the dot add force, and then we want to get the rotation. So I'm gonna put this in here. No, I'm just gonna put no. I want the rotation we hit it from. And that is times bullet force. Let's say damage times 100. Damage. No, I'm just gonna say it 1,000. That's how much force a bullet has. That's it. That's all there is to it. Alright, so let's minimize that. And what the hell? Right. Be right back. Right, I'm sorry, found the problem. I set it to transfer. You want to set it to transform.forward, so it will be from the direction you're shooting at it. And you also want to put that outside of the if hit enemy. You just want to put it inside of here. So yeah. So you want to also say to avoid errors. You want to say if hit dot rigid body. So if we hit a rigid body, add the force to it. Now let's check that out. Boy, we're really running out of time here, aren't we? Yeah, use the running, huh? And now, there we go. It's a bit too much force. Well, you know, you can always play around with it. But that's so much for objects. We're gonna probably make more objects for a scene to decorate it. And gonna get into some particle effects. So that's it for the beginning of the art series. Hope this tutorial wasn't too long for you, and see you next time.